record. We are on.
Right.
All right. Good evening, members. Today we are hosting Engineer Lucy Wanjiku Mutinda, or the other way around, Mutinda Wanjiku. I'm not so sure.
Wanjiku Mutinda.
And she is a mechanical engineer. And she will give us more perspective of her background. But for the time being, I would like to introduce my co-host and hand over to her, Diana.
Yeah, so good evening, everyone. Welcome to our webinar this evening. We are hosting Engineer Lucy Wanjiku Mutinda, who is the founder and director of EcoCycle. She'll tell us more about what she will be vying for and what she's bringing into IEK, or rather how she's been involved in IEK. So Engineer Lucy will have the floor. All of us are encouraged to mute our microphones and our videos so that we don't distract her. And from then we'll have a question session. So you can keep all the questions. You are encouraged to use the microphone to ask the questions as opposed to on the chat. You can only post it on the chat if you are in a noisy place. So Engineer Lucy will dictate the time that she wants to use in the webinar, and then she'll let us know when we can ask the questions. We are your hosts, Engineer Ndolo and I, Diana Waidanji. Welcome, Engineer Lucy.
Wow, thank you. Good evening, everyone. And I hope we are keeping safe amidst the corona pandemic. And we are taking all the precautions that have been advised by the government or whatever we are reading everywhere, because we all need to survive and contribute towards containing any further spread, not just the government alone. So my name is Engineer Lucy Wanjiku Mutinda. I am a mechanical engineer, studied at Moi University, having graduated in the year 2004. On my social life, I'm a wife, a mother, a sister to 4 brothers, and yeah, I'm always this go-getter, aggressive, and ambitious lady. So when I graduated from Moi University in 2004, I had a stint in the automotive sector because when I graduated, I was fascinated about cars. So I worked as a service engineer at Toyota. I one time was a process engineer at General Motors, where we were dealing with assembly of vehicles from the body shop to the electricals, to the trim, and then to the quality test control. And I had a stint of automotive between 2005 all the way up to 2007. But I'm this person that has always been fascinated about finding better, easier ways or innovative ways to always do new things. And I always fantasized about being in Germany at one point of my life, because as I grew up, my late dad, was a fan of German football. So I knew a lot about Germany, and my dad had all these books about Germany, and he would tell me, this is the home of engineering. So in around 2008, I applied for a scholarship that came across. The scholarship is dubbed International Leadership and Management Training, because I felt apart from just being an engineer, I needed to develop my leadership, my project management, and the soft side of things, because I had the engineering qualification and I had gotten more experience in manufacturing and processes and quality control. So in 2008, I was able to get a scholarship. I went to Germany. The program is dubbed AfricaCom. So the program takes young leaders, young executives from Africa who have a future potential to become leaders. So that was 11 years ago. I was picked in a German program for leadership because I qualified as a potential future leader. And for me, the future is now, like this future that they saw that I can be a leader has come. And with that program, I managed to get a certificate in international leadership and management training. So I returned back to the country in 2009 towards the end, so almost beginning of 2010. So coming back from Germany, I had come back with a new idea, because while in Germany, although I was in an automotive company again, where I was attached as I did my studies, while in Germany, I was curious about every new technology or anything they do towards digitization or environment. But the one that struck me and fascinated me was one time in a park, I discovered they were recycling the wastewater that was generated in that park and reusing it to keep the park green and not polluted. So when I discovered that, I got very fascinated and I started doing more research about it, to the fact that I even started to, in Europe, there's a lot of trade fairs that happen frequently around technology. So I even attended one trade fair just to understand how this recycling of sewage happens. And so by the time I was coming back to Kenya, while I had been fascinated so much about automotives, now I was coming back with a new idea, and I had thought that I have seen a solution to a problem that I see back home of sewer pollution. So by the time I was coming back, which is something that I would like to tell engineers, that your interest and your alignment to something may change as you grow in your engineering career and as you get exposed to other things. So by the time I was coming back home, my interest had shifted from automotive engineering to environmental engineering, to be able to provide a solution that can help save the sewer pollution in our country, because I had been exposed and seen a solution in another developed country that they were using to keep their environment clean. So when I came back in 2010, I teamed up with another like-minded person that was starting up a company on the same, having the same interest in environment. And we started working together in 2014, I decided to found my own company, EcoCycle Limited, that focuses on providing on-site wastewater recycling. So I'm mixing my education story and my experience. So apart from the international and leadership management training that took me to Germany and actually gave me new knowledge and new know-how in environment, I have also undertaken another diploma in responsible business and sustainability in Sweden. That's about from the Swedish Institute. So sustainability is about and getting the expertise on how to make sure as we exist now, we do not deplete the resources such that future generations are not able to exist. So in sustainability, it touches on the environment, it touches on the social, and it touches on the economics. So I also have a diploma in sustainable, responsible business and sustainability. I have also been to the US under a program called Women in STEM, Tech Women, where women in engineering are taken to Silicon Valley for a month and a half, and you come out with sort of a certificate because you are exposed to the latest tech and to the latest companies in tech. Like you go to LinkedIn, you go to Autodesk, you go to Facebook itself, and you're able to be exposed to the current digitization trends, Internet of things that I have learned through these programs that we have been. How will the future workplace look like? How will the future employee look like? And here we are right in it. Because of Corona, we have to work remotely, and digitization is going to be the biggest enabler of this working remotely. So I also have that exposure under the Women in Technology, Women in STEM program in Silicon Valley. And most recently, I undertook another program in 2019 in Babson University in the US. It's a leading entrepreneurship college. So I underwent a certificate in entrepreneurship and leadership management again, because right now I have combined my engineering with entrepreneurship. So I also like to study further on the economics, finance side, and entrepreneurship. And the latest, which is because as I do my recycling work, I also need to advance my knowledge on the water and environment. I recently got an admission to Strathclyde University for MSc on water and environment. So I'm looking forward to studying sustainability and environment. I am this digital digitization maximizer. I know how to use digitization so that I'm able to still work and study at the same time. And that program requires that I only travel to the UK twice during the program. So it means I will do a lot of online learning and only go for the exams. So basically that's it about my education and my experience. And yeah, basically what I can say is I have amassed a lot of experience on hands-on engineering, because as I do my recycling work, I like to be this hands-on engineer while I mentor other people. And through EcoCycle alone, I have been able to recruit about 19 people, of which 10 of them have been interns, and the remaining 8 happen to still be my current permanent employees. And through this mentorship, I have seen people grow, and I'm so proud. I see them in other companies, and they're happy that they went through the basic trainings that I took them while they passed through my internships. And as EcoCycle alone, the impact we have is to date, in the last 5 years, we've been able to install over 150 on-site wastewater recycling plants in homes, in restaurants, in apartments. And so we are impacting like 15,000 people. So through my work, through my education and what I do, I always look at inspiring other people to see that they can do it. And I'm also very big on mentorship. Some Saturdays I will call GEs at my office and take them through the registration process. I go a lot around school mentoring, both through IEK and like the Tech Women program. We also do a lot of mentorships to mentor young ladies to join the STEM world. So basically, I am passionate about innovation. I am passionate about empowering other people. Enthusiast. Maybe that's why everybody just sees me as the digital one, and because I understand how digitization and technology makes life better, easier, faster, efficient, and quick to handle. So basically, that's about my background and where I'm coming from. Now, coming to IEK, I want to be very honest. Having worked in the private sector, if you look at my background, I have never worked in government. When I joined Toyota, when I joined General Motors, when I went to gas management, which I find a sad thing. Nobody has ever asked me about my IEK registration or anything. So in those first 8 years of my working, to be honest, I was not in IEK, or I registered as a student. I got my GE certificate, but then I never followed it up. But one time when I founded EcoCycle Limited, then I approached, because my way of rolling out this technology, I planned that I would go through engineers, architects, QSs, consultants in the construction industry. So one time I went to present to a senior engineer, and I think I owe it up to him. I went to present to him that I have this new technology. It can work wonders. It's better than a septic tank. It will protect the environment. It will give people clean water. And the senior engineer said, young lady, this is a very good idea. It's a very good thing you're doing. But are you registered? That was the first time that somebody actually asked me. So I said, I'm only a graduate engineer with So he told me, if you go ahead and do your registration and you have this awesome idea and you come and present to us, I think we will trust you more, we will believe in you more. And that was the first time I really got interested now to follow up registration, and even started getting interested in IEK activities. That was around 2015. Taking off from 2015, 2016, I started getting interested in IEK. And somewhere around 2017, I even volunteered to sit in the functions committee meeting, even before registration. So I started offering my time and volunteering to join the functions committee and sit in the planning meetings. Like one of the functions we planned, I remember when I was still a G, was there was the other one of the bishop, Muheria, and also the other one of Bishop, I don't remember, is Bishop Oginde. Those were some of the 3 functions that I participated in planning and 2017, I started to do my report in 2016. And maybe this is good for the young Gs that think it's a hard process or are afraid of it or wonder where will they start. To be honest, I started in 2016. I had said I will do my report and submit it in 2016, but then came in this Tech Women program that I was enrolled in 2016. So I stopped writing my report. But then when I came back from the US, I said in 2017 January that I would start compiling my report and even put a date of when to submit it on the first page. So I gave myself a deadline of 2017 June. So I prepared the report over those months, and on 27th June, I remember at the end of June is when I submitted, and then I awaited for communication and I went for interviews somewhere in November. And by 2018 January, I was a registered engineer both with IEK and EBK because I submitted my reports both to IEK and EBK. So my activity with now IEK, as you can see, spans between 2015 to now. But then actively, I volunteered as a committee member 2017 and 2016. And then 2018 now, once I became a professional engineer, I actually or functions committee is that one day in the SGM that ratified digital voting, I was very vocal, and when they won and they were being handed over office, I was also in the same meeting and I was very vocal. I raised my hand. I said the way we need to embrace digitization, it's a good thing we are doing digital voting. And I remember the president saying when he gets into office, he would make sure I join a committee to contribute to these ideas that I have. So that's another thing I would want to encourage is instead of taking a back seat and just feeling like we cannot contribute anything, just become active, even as a volunteer. Bring in your ideas to the seniors. They will be embraced, and then it even makes you get encouraged into proceeding to the next levels. And it's a good thing to start contributing even before we are PEs. So that's my experience and my contribution at IEK. Now, what do I plan to bring to IEK? Now that I already have exposure, as I was a functions committee member, as I was a conference committee member and interacting with the IEK processes and everything, I still highly stand for still the next level of digitization, sustainability, paperless registration, and visibility of the engineer. So as Lucy, I'm really keen on making sure the secretariat, its operations, how everything is done, really gets to the next level of digitization. And I appreciate that the current council has really done a lot in setting, like saying on your marks, get set for digitization. That one they have set. So by coming in, I want to take it to the next level, starting from having an online platform where we would have all people studying engineering, from students to the Gs, to the Cs, to the Ps, that we have everybody registered on an online platform. And if we wanted to discuss the state of engineering at any one point in time, the IEK platform should be the go-to data producer of how many Gs, how many students are studying engineering, how many are proceeding from students, why are they dropping out? With online platform and data retention, we can really be able to address the state of engineering in our country with accurate and current data. Again, right now we are doing a webinar here, which I am so happy that we are doing. And this is like piloting and convincing anyone that does not appreciate digitization that actually digitization helps things move no matter where people are. It's faster, it's cheaper, it's accurate. So as IEK, right now we are doing all these things on webinars and Zoom. There are others called WebEx. I would like as the IEK to actually acquire legal licenses on 2 platforms, either Zoom or WebEx. So we pay up and get a license, and that way we can run either the secretariat operations like meetings, council meetings, whether people have traveled or whether people are in different locations. Meetings should not be postponed because people are not available. So again, we need to, I plan that as IEK, we will acquire 2 licensed platforms that we can conduct webinars, meetings, even trainings, CPD trainings that attract CPDs. The same way people want to attend PIPs in person, we can actually start delivering them online, the way we have done it now as candidates, selling out our ideas and giving our action plans. I believe 1 hour, 30-minute sessions will do very well to prepare GEs on registering their reports. The biggest thing that I happen to come from Moi University, and we have a very big fraternity that we stick together on WhatsApp, on different social media platforms. So I have a lot of colleagues who are not registered. And when I try to ask them and encourage them, what is it? What is it that bothers you? A lot of them say if only they could get in this current world a platform where they prepare their reports, they upload them, they get referees to sign up, and it does not involve tedious paperwork and printing, that they would easily embrace it. So if I look at the percentage of my classmates or campus mates, I think that's about maybe 60% of the engineering population would appreciate an online platform for registering. So if we do it, I believe we can grow registration of engineers with 60%, if not 100%, because it's just at the click of a button, they can log in wherever they are on their phones, they can log in wherever they are and do the process without having actually to sit down, print papers, bind them, and submit them. The other thing is, I was telling somebody when we left university, we would have to go around dropping CVs at industrial area, and the biggest barrier to get passed by was the watchman. But now we can cushion the current generation by having a listing of authentic opportunities that are listed, that apply. And this one is not just for the young engineers. It even touches on the eminent, the senior. So if we have an authentic listing of opportunities, running from tenders, running from jobs, running from consultancy opportunities. Let's say there's an international company that's coming in, they want to partner with a local consultant. Have all those listed, and as the IEK Secretariat, it will be actually our work to fish out for those opportunities, authenticate them, and list them here, so that if a consultant is looking for work, the first place they think about is, can I check the IEK online platform with opportunities, because it has authenticated opportunities that we as a secretariat will have vetted and list, and people can apply. Then the group of IEK members like myself, if I own a farm or I own a consultancy, it will be nice to post it on the same online opportunities platform. So if we have internships, we have jobs, we post all of them there. And as people are graduating or they're in their final year, any engineer should be thinking, where can I check for opportunities? The first place they should think about is the IEK online opportunities. Then the other thing is the sustainability of the profession. So when we talk about sustainability of engineering, we mean that we should have engineers existing now and continuing to exist even when we will not be here. So continuity of the profession, and this can be achieved through mentorship and trainings. And then the other thing is our actual sustainability of how we do sustainable projects. Right now, SDGs is a discussion in any platform you go to. I would want that as IEK, we are on the forefront of holding seminars on sustainable development goals. What do they mean? How do we embrace them into our projects, so that we make sure our members are doing projects that impact on the environment positively and touch on the SDGs, the 17 SDGs. The other sustainability angle would be, how do we get our people remunerated? Because why we would kill the engineering profession would be if we train people at the university, but they come out here and their profession is not paying them well. So they end up moving to other lucrative professions. So as the new council, I think one of our first tray items should be this engineer scale of fees that has been in discussion, I hear, for almost 7 years. It's time to really follow it up and get in touch with the policymakers. If it's the cabinet secretary, if it's with EBK, we sit down with them and really get this scale of fees passed, and then we can start applying it and using it as engineers. And then we will be able to pay, if I own a farm and we apply the appropriate and optimal scale, then we can pay all our engineers, GEs, interns, and everybody that we work with fairly. So the scale of fees and fair remuneration of engineers really touches on the sustainability of this profession, because if they are not paid well, then we will move to banking or even start other things. Another bit of sustainability is when we have foreign experts come to our country and maybe roll out a new technology. Okay, let's say an example of SDR or anything that is new. When these people come, we would also want them to list their existence apart from the other government bodies, NCA or EBK, where they have listed their existence in our country. We would want the same replicated on the IEK online platform. And what does that mean? It means that anytime as IEK and our members can visibly see how many foreign contractors are in the country and what projects are they working on. And we make them also list how many local members have they engaged, from Gs to student internships, to the consultants, to the Ps. If they could also list that, because with visibility comes accountability. We know nowadays Twitter has become the current police. We call it the Twitter police. So the same way we can have our IEK website like our engineering police, because it will be made mandatory for all foreigners to also list their projects, their existence on our online platform, and even go to the extent of telling us how many of us have they engaged. Because if they have not engaged anyone, then they become a target for the IEK Council to approach and discuss why they do not have people, and maybe talk to them to embrace our members into the project, and make sure they have trained them if it's a new technology. So if they exit our country at the end of the project, the locals are empowered and have understood the technology, and they can be able to run it and maintain for the lifetime of the technology or whatever they would have brought. Lastly, I am very big on visibility. And we said, if you're not visible as a society, if the way everybody in Kenya, even a young baby, will tell you, maybe they know LSK or they know the KMPDU for doctors, because they have been visible and people talk about them and we see them on the media every day. If you're not visible, most likely you will not be invited in decision making. Yet with the Big Four agenda and everything that Kenya wants to attain, the engineer plays a key role. So if we are not visible, maybe that's why we just find policies have been passed for us, and the architects are even becoming more visible and going to make decisions that touch on us, but as we are nowhere to be seen because we have not been visible. So tangibly, I would want IEK to partner with mainstream media and maybe even start programs. I remember when we were growing up, there's this channel that was called Deutsche Welle, like how things work. If you grew up, you would watch Deutsche Welle and you would see a bit of engineering just on a TV program. Why don't we have the same for Kenya? Like partner with Citizen or KTN, one of the leading media houses, and even start teaching how things work, how things are made, how we do projects. And that way we will also be inspiring the next young generation that watches those programs to actually like engineering and the technical work. Apart from educating, we can also partner with mainstream to highlight what we are doing as engineers. If there are big projects we have done, the way we have the expressway coming up, I think we should be more known than BBI, because the expressway is a big thing. So why don't we appear on TV the same way we see BBI every day talking about this expressway as the engineers, not letting the politicians talk about things that we understand better. So that's the kind of visibility we are talking about. And of course, the other low-hanging fruit is embracing they're not expensive, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all these social media platforms. Currently, if you have a problem with your bank, or if you have a problem with a supplier, the easiest thing is you just go online, report the problem, and you get a call from the bank. So why, as engineers, why are we left behind? We need to get visible there and show what we do, highlight if people are not embracing what they're supposed to do in projects. I think we need to be seen there. The other big thing, which I would bring from my experience and what I have been exposed to, since I am an alumnus of many programs outside that have empowered me and in my profession, I have seen if as an association we can collaborate with these foreign missions or the embassies around, then we can have our members benefit from what these foreign missions and foreign countries have for Kenya. So you will find a lot of like Germany, UK, Netherlands, they have a lot of programs, training programs, short-term seminars, scholarships for masters. So as IEK, I would like us to link up with them and work with them. And because I have those links, so that we even negotiate quotas of scholarships or quotas of seminars in a year that are in Germany should be allocated to IEK, and we advertise them and people apply and they get them fairly and squarely. Because most of them